might be easy to see yourself as unable to treat God the same as the Israelites so often did when rebelling against him. You would never be so extreme to turn your back on him the same way they so often did. But it is actually quite common that Christians do the same today, that we will turn our backs on God. Our idols might not look the same, our betrayal different, but when it comes down to it, we often turn our backs on God too. I'll even admit myself that I have, even more so that I did so thinking I was doing right by him. That's how the enemy gets you, either by little steps and little slips that turn into full-on sliding away from God. The mentality in place that what you are doing is not that bad until it turns to, how did I even get here? Or it can be that you are truly blinded by what you're doing, thinking that it's good and even helpful to God's kingdom when it's harmful to your faith and others. The latter was my big slip up. I thought I was worshiping God in a more spiritual way, when in reality I fell into the new age, which in reality is witchcraft by a new name. That's how it can deceive you, labeling an old sin with a new name that seems to be alright. So think again how maybe there are things in your life that could be hindering your faith, even something small as not reading your Bible as often as you should, or letting bitterness settle in you towards something that could seem reasonable to be bitter towards. Do a self-check, because more often than not, there is always something we are overlooking. And let me be a little more bold by stating that in itself, if you believe there is no way you could ever be towards God the way the Israelites were, that in itself is a prideful heart that needs to be uprooted. Something else I could speak from experience. A mature believer knows that the enemy can trip up and has tripped up every believer, at least in their past. So if there is not a spot even in your life that you can reflect on to remind you of your weakness, then it might be coming or already has you in its hold. Even David had his moments of tripping because he didn't have his focus on God, because he's human and we make mistakes, because sin is crafty and many things aren't always black and white. It's easier to criticize others for what they have done, but let's instead humble ourselves and learn with compassion from their mistakes. Instead of harsh judgment we will then have later thrown at us. Ask God where you can improve, and he will always show you. God bless you, loves, and don't forget to do a check of yourself and always keep your eyes on God.